Thanks to Battlefield 2042 being priced at $70 on consoles, there's once again been a debate about whether or not games are worth the new price tag trend which Sony and 2K as well as now EA are pushing onto the gaming industry. Personally, I hate it and I sure as hell don't think these games are worth $70 fucking dollars. However, I do think the new price tag is definitely better suited for multiplayer games when compared to single player games due to the fact they offer far more content, whilst at the same time offering far more replayable content than single player games do, which in reality, the campaigns in single player games are barely ever played more than once with the exception of games like Skyrim. And let's be honest, when it comes to the next Battlefield title, absolutely nobody will miss the campaign. Case in point here, the only reason I'm using Battlefield 4's campaign for gameplay is because I couldn't get a multiplayer match, and I know for a fact nobody gives a shit about the exclusion of a battle royale after the mess that was Battlefield 5's BR. But for some reason, instead of DreamcastGuy criticizing EA's pricing of the game at $70, specifically only on console, he decides to cry about the lack of a campaign / lack of a battle royale mode, and uses the $70 price tag as a scapegoat to push his argument, even though if the game included those modes, it still wouldn't justify the price tag. And instead of blaming console users for laying back and simply just accepting the extortionate next-gen pricing scheme, he instead blames EA for increasing the price when it is 100% on us as consumers for accepting it. And overall, his criticisms fall flat on their face and come across as extremely disingenuous, thanks to the fact DreamcastGuy has been sucking off games like Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart that are priced at $70 for months, and people aren't exactly happy with his take, shown by the like to dislike ratio on his video. So without further delay, I'll let the video play. God damn, that intro never gets old.
I just need to talk for a second to get something off my chest. This isn't necessarily going to be an angry rant, I'm not scripting this out, but I want to just kind of talk about the death of single-player FPS games.
What the fuck is he even on about here? Battlefield is not a single-player FPS series. It's a franchise with a campaign as an extra to the multiplayer, which serves as the main part of the game, and my guy, single-player shooters are far from dead. Doom Eternal single-handedly proves this, and it's ironic as fuck that it does, because later he uses Doom Eternal as an example for his argument.
Back in the day, when you bought a first-person shooter, it was two things at once. It was a gigantic campaign, something like Halo that allowed you to battle against aliens, or classic Call of Duty that allowed you to just go against Hitler's forces and stuff. But additionally, a first-person shooter was also, of course, online multiplayer.
It's so weird to me that he thinks the multiplayer in Call of Duty and Battlefield were add-ons to the single-player campaigns, when I think everyone can agree it's the complete opposite way round. And I'm genuinely in shock at the fact that he thinks COD and Battlefield being multiplayer-centered is something new when that's how it's been for years, and the single-player segment was merely a small campaign added on to the multiplayer. The only difference now is that EA decided to not waste time on making a campaign or battle royale mode in order to put more effort into that multiplayer experience.
But now, most shooters are single player excluded. They're only just the online aspect of it, and to me, this feels like a loss.
Ah yes, because we're really going to miss the 3 to 5 hour long campaigns that you'll forget in 2 hours after finishing them. I'm 100% going to miss Battlefield 5's campaign as well.
What's up gamers, DreamcastGuy here.
Why are so many YouTubers doing this now? There is no fucking need for multiple intros in one video. Like, this shit pisses me off. Out of all the ways to stretch out videos, why choose the most obvious and most irritating way possible? If they just cut out the second intro, nothing of value will be lost. But hey, you've got to drag out watch time as much as humanly possible.
And just a couple minutes ago, we actually just saw the reveal of Battlefield 2042. Now, looking at these initial details, honestly, I got incredibly excited. The teaser trailer they showed was very exciting because it gives us just this glimpse of some of the most perfect, crazy kills and intense action we're going to experience.
But what kind of got me is, as I read over these details, initially they're talking about the game modes we love the most coming back, huge multiplayer, which I love, 128 people on a single map, very cool, 7 massive maps. But here's where things started to get weird. Battle passes and seasons, one free, one paid for, and also no campaign, which is the gigantic downside.
I mean, it's not a giant downside. The campaigns are usually only a couple of hours long, and seriously, out of all of that, the biggest downside you could find was the lack of a campaign, not the battle passes.
Now, I'm not saying this game sucks. Now, I'm not going to act like this is like...
The quality of this video is impressively bad. Why the fuck did he leave in those horrible jump cuts? God damn, if this is the bar set for a channel with 200k subscribers, then I'm extremely excited to hit 200k subs down the road, because apparently I will have to put in absolutely no effort into my videos. Not that I do anyway.
Now, I'm not going to act like this is like always a bad thing. Sometimes there have been just games that have been improved by not attempting to do a single player experience. Sometimes there's games that manage to be bigger and better because they focus on what they do best.
Please tell me that isn't Black Ops 4 gameplay he's using. Please tell me it isn't. Out of any game he could have possibly used to prove his point, he uses Black Ops 4, which is undeniably the worst Call of Duty ever released. From pay-to-win microtransactions to its terrible Battle Royale mode, called Blackout, to its excruciatingly painful gameplay, there is nothing good about that game. And for some unknown reason, he decided to use it to prove his point. Why do I make myself suffer this much pain to make YouTube videos for you guys? Why? Just why?
It seems like this is kind of the statement they're trying to release. Battlefield 2042, here's an article already with an official freaking read by the designers. Battlefield 2042 has no campaign and no battle royale. Now, they've actually have this gigantic quote here where they basically say that we've been doing this for so long, and you know what? We're just not going to do a traditional single-player campaign, but we're going to put that emphasis on the resources to making bigger and better multiplayer, more in-depth multiplayer.
Here's my problem with that, is that single player is a very unique art form. Like, let me just say something completely crazy real quick.
This has to be one of the worst videos he has ever uploaded. These transitions that are cutting him off are really irritating. And I don't know how he didn't edit his video better, because this is such low quality. It's unbelievable. But either way, you can already see in the trailer where the extra development time on the multiplayer went. And I'm hoping the storms seen in the trailer are actually in the game, because if they are, then I honestly think it could help justify the increased price tag.
You guys are gonna laugh at me, but I completely loved Call of Duty World War II.
At this point, I don't see how this video could get worse.
And part of that was because, well, I could go online, I could blast people with old school guns and stuff, and then play through a decent, crazy, interactive action movie on top of it. Okay, so someone in the comments is probably saying something like, DreamcastGuy, you're just an old boomer. You grew up with games like Bioshock, and that's why you got Bioshock tattoos.
What the fuck do Bioshock and bloody Battlefield have to do with each other? Other than the fact they are both FPSs, and I mean that is literally the only thing they share. Nothing else is remotely similar, thanks to the fact one's a horror series and the other is a multiplayer focused online FPS title. Making the comparison between the two just makes zero sense.
Well, this is true, but I'm not even talking about single-player only experiences. Like, single-player FPS games are great. I'm not gonna lie, I definitely love a really solid single-player experience. My thought is that we used to get both, and we still get both sometimes. Think about something like absolutely Doom Eternal killed it last year. It is so freaking long and gory and great. It introduces so many new concepts like platforming and stuff, and yet it is still balanced, it is still fun, and it certainly made its money back.
As much as I adore, and I mean truly adore Doom Eternal, and I will 9 out of 10 times defend it, in this case, I won't. I enjoy Doom Eternal's multiplayer mode, aka battle mode, but claiming it's balanced and a fun experience for most players is a flat out lie. The multiplayer side of Doom is only fun for veteran fans, and is extremely unbalanced to say the very least. However, Doom Eternal single player wise is balanced and is hands down the best FPS experience available at the moment, but the multiplayer side is a definitive downgrade from 2016's multiplayer.
It's just so painfully obvious that the reason they're doing this is because it's going to make them even more profit.
Oh my god, a business wants to cut down on costs to make profit? It's almost like that's the sole reason for their existence. And personally, I'd much rather they do this to save costs than most other options. Them cutting content which the majority of players don't give a shit about to save costs is perfectly fine in my eyes. In most cases, voices, it's unneeded bloat added onto the game files.
Even if this game is fun, let's face it, it's going to be a lot cheaper to develop if you're not trying to hire actors to do the game, you're not having all these writers and campaign editors and stuff. Instead, it's just straight up good, tight shooting, and with as many microtransactions and battle passes as possible.
Does this guy not realize that they hire voice actors for in-game voice lines which play during multiplayer matches or something? Plus, as scummy as it is, the voice actors in video games are not paid well at all, so acting like it's a significant saving on EA's part is pretty moronic. Also, no, they've already stated the game won't be full of microtransactions. They'll have battle passes, but what would have previously been DLC content will be free, just like I'm pretty sure it was in Battlefield 5. And after Battlefront 2 launch, I highly doubt EA will be willing to risk another microtransactions related controversy.
I mean, I can't completely blame them for that. I mean, when people look at games like how much money Call of Duty is making with their stupid microtransactions, how much profit and billions of dollars are being generated by Fortnite, I understand that game developers, they got the dollar signs in their eyes. They think, how can I make the most money off of my project? Because let's face facts, this game is definitely going to cost $70 on the Xbox and the PlayStation 5. They're definitely going to sell this for the marked up price of a next-gen game, and yet there's not going to be any like fancy voice acting or crazy plot twists.
Congratulations, you can read an article. In my eyes, if they've done what they're claiming they've done, which is poured the resources they would have used on the campaign into the multiplayer to offer a better experience, then I am perfectly okay with that. But in general, $70 is a slap in the face, and the best advice I can give to console players is to wait for a sale, because it's almost guaranteed that Battlefield 2042 will go on sale for Christmas, which isn't that long after launch. Or if you want to avoid the $70 bullshit in general, invest in PC gaming.
It's difficult for me not to feel just a little bit frustrated, a bit of anger, because I kind of miss this lost art. I feel like single-player shooters are probably going to become increasingly rare because they're just not as profitable. And to me, it makes me sad because I'm going to think about the great characters and great plot twists that have existed in the shooters of the past, and now, I mean, they're pretty much going extinct.
And part of this comes down to low sales. Like, this is kind of a problem, which is that single-player shooters keep selling worse. Like Wolfenstein 2, this came out 3 years ago.
This is quite literally completely and utterly irrelevant to Battlefield. Battlefield is a multiplayer focused experience and Wolfenstein 2 is a purely single player experience. Comparing these two games is simply just disingenuous, but hey, I don't know why I'm expecting anything else from DreamcastGuy of all people. The man who lied about getting insider information about the PS5 in a now unlisted video and then recently called out people for spreading false PS5 Pro leaks.
I guess my just thought is that I miss getting both. I miss when you used to get a single player and a multiplayer in it. I mean, I'm hoping that Halo Infinite is great, because Halo Infinite, it seems like the next giant shooter with a campaign that I'm actually excited about. People act like all the time that I'm an Xbox hater. Halo Infinite is going to have a campaign. It is going to have a story mode, and let's hope it actually is decent.
I wonder why people think you hate Xbox and Halo Infinite. Maybe it's because you made a video where you celebrated the fact that a huge percentage of the gaming market might not have been able to play Halo Infinite, which, quick shameless plug here, I made a video on. And you constantly fanboy for PlayStation as well? Nah, that couldn't possibly be why.
I mean, also, let's think about the next Call of Duty. Call of Duty's probably going to get revealed soon, and I feel like there's a good chance it's not going to have any sort of single player.
I don't know why you think that, since there's been no signs it'll happen, but hey, I guess in his head, because one FPS franchise does something, all the rest have to do the same thing. And again, the majority of people would not give a fuck if COD didn't have a campaign this year, because once again, people buy Call of Duty and Battlefield for the multiplayer, not the single player campaigns. For most people, the campaigns are just an extra bloat added onto the already insane file size of modern games.
Solo games with a good chance to tell you some cool plots with some good shotguns. At this point, they're pretty much dead. But what do you think about it? Have you had a chance to see the Battlefield 2042 reveal? Am I being a gigantic crybaby?
Pretty much. And I can't lie, I do love how blatantly scummy DreamcastGuy is at times though. Like, this motherfucker added on an extra minute to his video after he had just finished his outro to get it over the 8-minute mark, in order to get mid-rolls on the video by going through the games he showed off, and by recording himself listening to his neighbors mowing their lawns.
Oh my gosh, I pulled down so many games from my collection for this video, but you know what? It's a good chance to walk down memory lane. Play Bioshock. It's on new consoles, or on, Xbox, PlayStation. Play Bioshock. They are mowing the hell out of the lawn just randomly. So I'm going to sit here and I'm just going to wait until I can keep filming. I'm just going to sit here on camera until I'm allowed to talk again. Please like and subscribe. This is driving me insane. I'm going insane.
You've already finished the video, for fuck's sake. There is no need to record anything else. Now, with all of that being said, please do not forget to do all the things YouTubers love to beg you to do, aka check out my Twitter, Discord server, as well as like, comment, and subscribe. So I'll see you all in the next video. But most importantly, don't forget to
Keep dreaming.